Doing it for the yeehaws and the yahoos. Doing it for the yeehaws and the yahoos. Can you grab the dog? Put this back. We'll drink the rest of that other one. Jump in this thing just for a second, see if anybody's around. See what's going on while I drink my coffee. Got Fly City right now. Got Fly City right now. Right before the bitter, dark, cold winter comes. Make sure you're eating your fruit, kiddies. Make sure you got an underground banana garden going for when the nukes come. I'm gonna give us some homemade spaghetti sauce. Be cooking that up tonight. A neighbor gave us some off-grid spaghetti sauce, so we're gonna make some spaghetti tonight. See how that comes out. I've been dropping those tidbits out there, here and there. Shout out to, I just seen Mule drop the video talking about a podcast, etc. I know for some months ago, I was talking about doing a podcast, but I just can't find the time. It's just, life is so hectic. Life is so busy right now. I don't think I've ever been this busy in a long, long time. But, most of it's for me, you know. Back in the city, being busy, earning all that money, working all the damn time, that was just, that was for somebody else, really, because I was paying rent, so, you know, you you strive to get your own shit and have to pay your own bills towards your own stuff. So that's the idea behind, you know, the idea, the bigger picture. The bigger. What up, Kevin? Just here making myself my second cup of Covfefe right here, working on it. Let me tell you, off-grid coffee tastes way better than on-grid coffee. I can tell you that right now. You have yourself a little off-grid coffee, it is damn good. It just takes all that love of being off the grid, and it just powers you through the day. You cook up 2 of these pots of coffee right here, and you'll run around out there in the woods chopping down woods like Paul Bunyan. Oh yeah, could go a little bit sweeter, but hey, ain't gonna complain. Ain't gonna complain. There's a period there where I wasn't having no coffee. So how's everybody doing out there? I seen, like I said, I seen Mule talking about firing up some type of podcast deal, and good on him if he can get that going. People's interest in discussion is not like it used to be. This is just my 2 cents, and that's what, you know, when I started trying to get things together, and even talking to a buddy here who's down to be on the podcast and doing like a podcast, almost like a Joe Rogan type deal. I think that's what everybody's aiming for, something where people will people are, you know, aiming to I don't want to say mimic, that sounds like emulate, reproduce, something like that. You know, something that's successful and something that's interesting. Me, I don't really care. I would rather put something out that people would watch. I don't care about the money side. I don't care, you know, if it's the most spectacular thing on earth, but I'd like something where people were interested and involved in the comment section and on the panel. And that's where I find I can't get nobody to, I mean, you see the views on my videos, I'm so black-holed, I'm so blackballed, it's ridiculous. You know, I fire up chats all the time, and I'll wait the normal 10-15 minutes like I would anytime that I'd start up a chat. And it never happens. Yeah, I don't think he does either. But I just noticed that the audience retention, the audience getting, I mean, I do fire mine up randomly. I guess that's where maybe the part that hurts, I guess, on getting these things going. But maybe if it was a more pre-planned thing where people knew, hey, this is where, when, and where to be, I think maybe that'll help. But you never know, man. I'd like to get it. I thought about it for a while now, and maybe you take all the channels together and get them all to formulate a plan and get more people to watch, because the hard part is just getting people to watch. And I noticed Mule is doing the community thing, and it seems like he has more of a following on there. I mean, he gets hundreds of likes and shit. I get 5 likes if I'm lucky, so maybe he's got a better following because of using the community thing. I don't know. I just know that me getting people to watch stuff on here is next to impossible, whether it's a live or it's a video that I just throw up. But I mean, I've always been upset because I think that I create way better content than YouTube is like allowing to get out there to people. I figure almost every single one of my videos is in HD. Half of them are probably in 4K, so the quality, you know, I'm not bumping and shaking the camera around too crazy, but I mean, the quality's there, the time to sit and edit and manage it and all that kind of stuff I do, you know, not like I used to, but still a pretty good job. I put together a pretty good product just for it to be black-holed and blackballed and sent down the river, and, you know, not even have a chance to kind of get out there and reach people. So trying to get people to watch and then retaining that audience, I think that's probably half the battle. Getting people to think critically is the other half. A lot of people have just tuned out and turned off of the BS. You know, there's a lot of meme channels now where they just play memes, and those are, you know, edgy and cool, and they're not that long, so people don't have to stay around. But anything with critical discussion and stuff where people have to think is like people have just turned their brains off. So watch out, dog. So just stockpiling, man. That's all you can do. I have these dreams. I have these crazy ass dreams like World War III's coming, and it's just nuts. It's just nuts. The shit that I think and dream about. Maybe that's what's coming. All I could do really is dig my Vietnam tunnel hole a little deeper. Yeah, I think if it's more organized, and date and time and all that too, it could do better. Mine, I could never do it on my channel because my schedule is wacky. But if I knew somebody was going to fire something up and I needed to be in on the panel by XYZ, I think that would work. I mean, it worked for me. So, sorry, Mule, I didn't call you back the other day. I'm balls busy, man. It's crazy how busy I am. I'm out here cutting and raking and burning and hacking and chopping and digging. Got propane coming in a couple days as we near the 20s. It's a 32 footer. 32 footer. Putting up some other structures, putting up a carport, just getting trees cleared out to do all this. Solar is going to be coming. I've done the math and the money's on hooking into the grid and solar, and my cousin who does solar and some customers that I have are completely on solar, and with the combination out here of solar, propane, and then running a generator in emergency situations, you know, almost everything can be done off of propane. I understand propane's went up. It's not bad here, but you can do a lot with propane, so it's a lot to do. It's a lot to get done before we get in here to the winter time. But stuff's way more optimistic. Things are way more optimistic, even though they're harder than living in the city and everything. The outlook of stuff day to day is way more optimistic. Not being stuck on watching the television, the news every day, seeing the horrible shit that's going on. I mean, to me, I'll let God come to me and let me know, hey, you need to step it up, or you need to slow it down. You're going too fast, you know. No, not on a slab. The house is going up on the slab, so you know, obviously the house is going up on a slab, but it was either an RV on the property or a tiny home on the property while building the house. So I wasn't going to do the RV thing. I mean, I crunched all the numbers and I ran all the possibilities of doing the RV, but I just so it just form and function and fit. Everything's different. Every situation is different. I mean, up and down this whole neighborhood, there's people, you know, getting into their land, digging into their land, clearing what they got, putting down what they got to do to get by while they're building the house. Because everybody, unless they've come down with a boatload of money from somewhere else, everybody's in the same situation. Lumber's still through the roof. I understand it's come down, but it's still through the roof. Concrete is through the roof. Metal is the only. These metal buildings are the only realistic ways of going about stuff, as far as, you know, not having to finance, coming out of your pocket, putting up a steel building, and then finishing it out yourself. But, you know, you still got all the things that come with jumping into a homestead. You're not going to be hooked up to the power system. You're not going to be hooked up to the water system, the sewer system. So you have all that you have to take care of and you got to figure out. And right now, we got flies like you wouldn't believe. I don't even understand. They'll all be gone after tonight. I mean, tonight's supposed to get really, really cold, and then we got our first freeze, our first frost. It'll be a light frost. I think it's gonna be a heavy frost, actually. These flies need to get their asses froze out. So that's what's going on with that. But they're just horrendous. I mean, as soon as that weather gets to that little perfect window of about like 78 to about 82, 83. What up, Mike Austin? As soon as the temperature gets to that, it's like just prime time for these flies. And where I'm at in Arkansas, we don't have mosquitoes. We have flying insects, but nothing that really bugs you. You know, the gnats, but the flies are ridiculous out here. What up, Wrangler? The flies are just, I mean, you never seen so many flies. You look at your front door, like last night, you look at your front door, your wall, the whole wall, trying to get into your house. They're all chilling on your windows and chilling on your front door trying to get in. And I got a ton of good stuff, a ton of good sprays and stuff like that to put down. I mean, it don't do shit. These flies are just stupid out here in Arkansas, so, or where I'm at in Arkansas. Every area is different. There's all these little microclimates. You got people down the way, they got mosquitoes really bad, and I haven't even, you know, I've never even seen a female mosquito. I've only seen male mosquitoes during the springtime, but you go other places and they got mosquitoes like you wouldn't believe. Go to some places, they got fleas like you wouldn't believe. Some people got ticks like you wouldn't believe. Ticks have dropped off pretty dramatically, though, here in the last month or so, as it's gotten chilly at night. But, yeah, Las Vegas is a nightmare. I don't even think about it. It's weird. It's like I never even came from there. It's the wildest part of my life. The wildest part of this whole thing is being from there, born and raised, you know, going back there after living in Virginia for almost 6 years and getting stuck in Las Vegas. No way out, it seemed hopeless. Never getting out of here. And then get out of there is unbelievable. It's almost like I've described it before, like a bad marriage or an ex-girlfriend. You know, you just, that pain is in the back of your mind somewhere where you know that how shitty it was, but you've moved on so far that it's just really just a bad chapter in your storybook of life. I mean, to compare the two now, living out there and living out here for almost 3 years, it's like you don't even think that you used to live out there. You're like, I never even used to live out there, knowing damn well you lived out there for a long time. What up, Luis? Did you just move to Florida? I thought that you weren't in Florida. Did you just move to Florida not too long ago, or have you been down in Florida? I can't recall. I haven't done these chats where people, you know, you go back and forth in the comments in a long ass time, so I can't remember, but I thought that you had not been there. Yes, okay, cool. And you were in Cali, right? Or am I wrong? I think Luis was in Cali and he left, I believe. I'm doing this for a decade, man. No, I know you're in Florida now, but you left Cali, right? You were back west somewhere. Oh, Indiana. I don't know why I'm thinking West Coast. Probably because you got a Mexican last name, Holmes. But, yeah, man, just staying busy, working the real job, working the land job, and trying to fit in a regular life in between that. Shit, I left Virginia in 2008 was the last time I think I was in Virginia. And I left Virginia, went back to Vegas 2008, late 2008, and I didn't leave Vegas until what, 2020. So went back, got stuck there for 12 years, and finally got out. Had 2 kids, got out, and the rest is history. I mean, post a pretty good amount of videos of what I see out here, and what I see out here is on another level. Beautiful compared to where I was, so. Here and crush those cans and throw them away, and all that trash can go in the dumpster, and the house, the trash on the side of the house can go in the dumpster too. You want a sandwich? Very good. Huh? Doesn't have to have egg on it, it could just have cheese and meat on it. Yeah, so we're just here, just firing it up and seeing what's going on. Getting our Covfefe on. No, I got propane. Is that your drink? No? This can go in the trash. This can go in the trash. Put a jam on. Put the jams on. Represent. See, I still got my fishing stuff up there. Haven't been doing any fishing since we went off grid. None. I got my bow, but I got no way to charge my little battery. I got to get a little trickle charger for that. Get a little trickle charge for that, and here, if you want to finish that and throw it away. Just drink it out there. Yeah. Do it. Yeah. So.
You see trash?
Huh?
You see trash?
No. Okay. I use that water. Cheers. All I know is that in 3 years I went from being a city boy to country as fuck. Still listen to my same music though. Still do my thing like Mr. Las Vegas, but out here is back to the basics, man. Be nice to people. Fucking yes sir, no ma'am. You know, holding doors open for people. Slowing the fuck down, man. Being considerate. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of assholes that have been moved out here that are in a fucking hurry, like they're back home, and they stand out big time. They look like dumbasses. Plenty of people that look like dumbasses out here. Looking stupid. Everything you do out here, you gotta be considerate, man, halfway, because you just stand out when you're in a rush. You just stand out. You look like a jackass. So just try to just take it easy, you know. I mean, that's the point while we're out here, anyways, is to take it easy. Yeah, buddy. Make sure you got yourself a coffee maker out in the country. You get a coffee maker, everything else is all good. I thought about all the options. People pitched to me, you know, those cold presses, this, that, and the other, but you still have to have a way to heat up the water to do all that. So you're better off just getting, I think I got a little 5-cup. It don't make no 5 cups. It makes probably about 2.5 cups. So you just gotta have yourself a little, that resort job wasn't paying shit, man. I mean, everything went through the roof. We asked for a raise almost 3 years in a row. The owner, you know, there's no benefits. The owner, you know, started acting like a dick because he basically had us pigeonholed more or less. You know, it's like, oh, these guys will never leave because there's nothing better, blah, blah, blah. And it took me all about 5 seconds to find something way better and make a situation way better to where you could get cash flow. The resort wasn't making shit. It was like a retirement job, and I ain't retired yet. So the owner, he retired, so he started being around the resort more, like being there, and then fucking he'd go out, you know, on the lake all day, get drunk, and then come up the hill and start talking to me like I was his fucking kid. So he's lucky I didn't smack the fuck out of him, number one. He should be grateful that you know what I mean, I put in my 2 week like a gentleman and acted, you know, normal instead of flipping the fuck out because he was a piece of shit. He really just became a piece of shit. From the time that we moved in there to the time that we left, changed total 180 of how he acted and how he treated us. So no, we got some solar going. I was talking about that earlier. We got the solar. We use a generator here and there, but then we got propane coming in a couple days, so we'll have a mixture of everything. And I might end up buying a wood stove also through the winter for emergency in case, you know, maybe propane shoots up and gets crazy to where we can't use it or afford it, you know. But that propane should carry us through the winter. But I got so much wood, like I got a stack of fucking wood to burn if shit went sideways and I needed to do that. So yeah. Why is the top of my bread missing? Weird. I hope I didn't get a mouse up in my bread. Top of my bread's missing. I think it just broke off though. Keep everything closed up around the reservation. Here you go, Joe. Yeah, buddy. Mostly we're just running off of propane for the most part over here, unless we're charging phones or unless I need to pull some extra power, then I'll fire up the generator. But let me tell you, the generator I picked up, I went through all these conversations with all types of people trying to figure out what a generator would do, trying to figure out what my generator would do, etc., etc. It all turned out good. I mean, the generator runs for longer than what I thought it run. It runs on less gas than I thought it would run, and it powers more things than what I thought it would power. So overall, the generator I ended up picking up last year when they started talking about all power outages, this, that, and the other coming. Has exceeded my expectations big time. So there's that. I know people wonder about that, but solar, propane, run a generator in emergency instances. But the only thing you use solar for is to like charge phones and shit like that. Maybe watch a little TV. Man, coffee gets you fired up in the morning, man. It's hot as hell. Gets you hot. We're supposed to be in the 30s and in the, where are we at here? Let's see. We have a high of 74 today, and then 36 in the morning. High of 58 tomorrow. High of 52 on Tuesday. So it's just getting chilly willy. Go lay down, quit begging. What up, HRM? I make these breakfast sandwiches with some of that Cinnabon bread. It's got raisins and cinnamon on it. The the fucking, oh, I can't think of what the hell it is. I'm all hyped up here. That Sun-Maid, the raisins company too. They make a bread too. It's like a little half loaf, quarter loaf. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
They make some too, and it's just like raisin bread, breakfast stuff. So it's bomb with some meat and cheese on it and an egg.
It's hand sanitizer.
Spill.
Yeah.
So staying busy. Lots of barbecuing going on. Broke down. Bought a propane grill. Thing works damn good. I was disappointed when I first got it. I burnt the shit out of some ribs. They came out horrible. But now that it's broke in, man, I'm just like cranking food out. Like, we're just instantly ready. I mean, it's ready in 2 or 3 minutes as opposed to charcoal. I love charcoal, but the price of charcoal has went through the roof. The prep time on it, you know, trying to get it, the coals up to temp. You need something?
Yeah.
Oh. The prep time on it, all that crap, charcoal is just not the way to go. And the way they do propane out here is, I mean, everybody's running on propane, so there's so many propane spots. It's so, you know, available out here. And propane companies will do deals with you to rent a tank. They want you to fill it twice a year. That's the only deal that they want you to work out with them. So fill it. I'm thinking end of fall or maybe end of summer. I understand filling during summer is probably the cheapest, but if you're going to use it up. But our water heater, our wall heater, and our stove, and even possibly our fridge will all be run off of propane. So that's what we're looking at here. What's everybody else got going on? What situations other people got going on? I'm curious. Where's my off-grid folks? Posted some Bible stuff a couple weeks ago, and I was telling people, you know, it's funny. I did a service at church, and so when I serviced that church, I got some literature. Where we at here? I got some literature from the one of the pastors there. It was a Baptist church, so I've never been in a Baptist church. It's definitely different. I like my Catholic church a lot better, but he gave me some literature and I seen it and I said, damn man, that is just mind blowing, the way to me that God works and the things, you know, that happen. Just how everybody asks you, like, what the hell's going on with you? They think you're losing your mind. Especially, like, I bounced right before COVID happened. Everybody thought, man, dude, what do you know that I don't know? I had so many calls. What up, Double B? I had so many calls from people I haven't heard from even since then. I hadn't heard from people. I talked to my cousin. You know, I haven't talked to my cousin in like 15, 20 years called me right before COVID. And a couple other people, a couple YouTube people called me, you know, and I still haven't heard from them since that time when, you know, everybody thought that the world was going to end, and everybody was kind of like trying to like, you know, clear their conscience before they met their maker, because everybody was so scared. I'd have people calling me from back home, dude, what do you know that I don't know? And I'm like, man, I've been telling everybody, I've been documenting it, I've been making videos, I've been doing all this shit, and you're asking me, you know, what this and what that. Why don't you just pay attention, put your ear to the ground, listen to the commotion, and writings on the wall, where we're headed, where we are, and what's to come after that, you know. People, they just don't wake up though. They just don't get it. They don't pay attention. They don't listen to their inner voice. They don't listen to the higher power. They do none of it. So I crack open this literature, and the first page I stumble upon talks about the Lord gave a command to Abram. And to me, you know, every time I hear the gospel, or, you know, parts of the Bible, it's always, to me, it's always been this way my whole life, has been a knife straight to the point and the time and the place I'm in at the moment, you know. So well, the feelings I have and everything like that, this whole Arkansas thing for 3 years almost now, everything's totally awesome. Everything is really, really good. The only thing that drags on my heart or puts me down a little bit is I miss family. I miss friends like crazy. I mean, that'd be my only complaint about that, is, you know, I couldn't bring them all with. Not that even if I could bring them all with, they'd want to come with, you know, but I severely miss friends and family. It drags on me sometimes. And so every time that I've always either just cracked open the Bible randomly, or I've got a piece of literature, it was like something to reassure, or something kind of like dealing with the situation at hand. So I crack open this piece of literature I get from servicing this church, and I'm like, dude, this is crazy. Like, I pull over on the side of the road because I'm waiting to go to my next deal. I'm like, dude, this is crazy. This just blows my mind. I posted it too, and the reaction from people, I mean, 4 likes. Got almost 5,000 subs. There's 4 likes, you know, like, the interaction between the people that you do these videos for and everything is minimal to none. I mean, the impact is nothing, it seems like it was before. Like, you had a lot of impact, a lot of interaction. Now that shit's all gone, but nevertheless, Abram's first recorded encounter with the Lord involved a command to leave his home country, a place where he had settled down with his wife, Sarai. Notice carefully how God's commands move from broad to narrow. Abram was to leave, 1, his country, 2, his relatives, and 3, his father's house. This was God's way of saying that he wanted Abram to leave behind a familiar place and people to go to a new place that God would show him. How difficult it must have been to leave the familiar surroundings of home and his relatives. Can you imagine God telling you to leave everything and everyone familiar to you for an unknown destination? This was God's command to Abram. And I try to tell people, like, when they ask me about this Arkansas thing, you know, I have to give them the short story, because the long story is just too much for people. They don't understand. Well, I mean, I have to give them the long story because the short story don't make no sense. I think that makes better sense. How you gonna tell people when they ask you? Sometimes I do, you know, but you gotta have somebody that, I guess, that has the time to hear it, because otherwise, you know, you could go through and say, hey, this and this happened, and this is how I ended up out here. Or the short story is, you know, God led me to this land where I am now, and I don't fucking care who believes it, who thinks it's baddie, who thinks whatever. I don't care. I know that I had to leave by a certain date, and I had to leave by a certain time, you know, against everything that everybody had told me, people close to me, friends, family, you know. Hey man, you need more time to save some money, blah blah blah. I could see it like a hurricane coming, man. I could see that it was time to get out of Vegas, and it had to be done. It had to be done quick. It had to be done by a certain date, certain time, man. Get the hell out of here and venture out into this new place, which, you know, I know this area almost like the back of my hand. I mean, there's so much to it that it's kind of hard to say you could ever know this land up here by like the back of your hand, but it's crazy. It's crazy to describe to people and try to explain to them how I arrived here in Arkansas, but that would just be the short, straight to the heart, knife point answer. You know, I was told and I was led here, and the way everything worked out, how everything worked out the last bunch of years, from work to having a place to live to all that kind of stuff, everything just worked out. You know, the transition was so seamless, and it was a lot easier than I thought it would have been. So, you know, I only have you know, that to be thankful for, and him to be thankful too. And that's the truth. And people don't like it. I know people don't like it, but I don't really care. I never really cared what people thought, and I really don't now. I'm like, doubly don't give a shit what people care or think or whatever. If it's people I know on the ground that I do my face-to-face with day to day, then, you know, I care about folks like that. But to say you care about a bunch of people on the internet that have opinions like assholes, it doesn't matter. You know, people are either making moves or they're not making moves. And so you can relate to the people that are making moves, to the people that are creating things with their bare hands. You can relate to those people. You can understand those people, and those people can understand you. But everybody else is just sitting on their hands, being a bunch of fat asses, not going nowhere. You know, not doing anything in this day and age. Not doing anything. Like, it's detrimental, more detrimental than it ever has been, to just be sitting flat-footed. You know, standing flat-footed, sitting on your damn hands, not doing anything, not creating anything, not making any moves, not digging into where you know what's coming. Everybody knows what's coming. I mean, a fucking hurricane of epic proportions is coming. The annihilation of the human race is coming. Can you run from that? You know, I mean, no, but can you hide from that? Maybe. I don't know, but when shit goes all sideways and it's all bad, the things that I've fucking seen, call it a vision, call it a bad dream, call it whatever you want, the shit that's coming is put all those CGI movies, you know, to shame. The pain that's coming, let's just hope that whatever your decision was, it was the right decision. Maybe my decision's the wrong decision, but, you know, maybe it's the right decision. If you at least feel it in your heart that it's the right decision, then you really don't got nothing to lose. But the people that aren't making any moves, that aren't doing anything to set themselves up for the best possible outcome, that's just laziness. That's just, you know, no drive. And when I talk to people, and sometimes people probably think like, damn, that fool thinks he's a know-it-all. I don't think I'm a know-it-all. I definitely don't think I know everything, but I think of all the options that I'm taking and all the corrective actions to right my course here. I believe in them the most. I'm the most optimistic in the choices I make, because you really can't afford to make any bad decisions anymore. Time's almost run out, so the time for bad decisions, there is no time for that. It's got to be the good decision. It's got to be the right decision. It's got to be decisive. You got to take that path, whatever that path's going to be. You know, you'll only find out down the line that it was the wrong path or it was the right path. But at least you stood up and you stood for something and you chose a direction instead of just sitting there on the fence, you know, being a lame. And I think if you have nobody, if you just have by yourself, that doesn't really affect anybody. It's just you. But when you have a family, I've said this a million times in a million chats, when you have a family you have to make sure that it's the best, most right decisions for your family to succeed and survive and thrive and stay alive. Those decisions have to be razor sharp. Those decisions have to be so decisive and so precise, and so much has to go into it, when by yourself you could just be willy-nilly and winging it. So I don't really think, when I do all these different types of chats or views or whatever you want to call them, I don't ever think that it's a one size fits all for everybody. But if you're talking about taking care of your family, if you're talking about making decisions that's good for keeping you and your family safe and productive, then the decisions have to be good. You can't be willy-nilly with it. There's got to be some thought that goes into it. There's got to be some creative thinking into how you're going to get things done. And so that's what happens with the game of life. You know, for thousands and millions of years, humans been packing up and moving from one spot to the other. Maybe climate has changed in their area and they moved to warmer grounds. Maybe it was too hot and they moved to cooler grounds. Maybe, you know, the economy sucked at one spot and they went to a better economical situation. I mean, you definitely wouldn't leave for a worse economical destination, but you definitely work to have the most. You'd work to have the most thrivability, if that's even a word, for your situation. You don't want to just get by. You want to thrive. You want to be able to do good. I mean, the world hasn't totally fallen apart yet, so why can't you get ready and dig in and do all that, but enjoy life at the same time? You know, hit the beach, have a great time with your family. You know, create memories before they burn this whole place down, because that's what they got in mind. You know, these fools in November, they either cheat their asses off completely, which they will, to try to finish taking over, make the takeover totally complete, you know, or they lose and they knock all the chess pieces off the table like a little kid and throw a tantrum and all of us get burned. Either way, there's no, as optimistic as I am, as optimistic as the most optimistic person can be, there's no awesomeness to the ending of this story, in my opinion. It's gonna be a shit show. And you know, I hear these fools on the news yesterday talking, well, we have to get along, and we have to, and this is the left, you know, the communists talking about, we can't just wish the MAGAs away, and 73 million people, and this, that, and the other, and so what's the other option? You know, on the tip of his tongue is, you know, civil war in it, you know, civil war in it part 2, you know, that's really on the tip of their tongue. They'd rather just burn the whole bitch down, fight, get their asses whooped, even though they don't think they'll get their asses whooped. They'd rather do that than change their ways and stop with their communist rebellion, their communist agenda. You know, they'd rather burn the whole place down than do what's good for everybody, which is leave everybody alone, let everybody succeed, let everybody be in this marketplace and do what they need to do to take care of their families and stop stifling innovation and stifling growth, you know. Make it so everybody can just be thriving, you know. The agendas don't do anything for people's confidence in the country. They don't do anything for the confidence of the economy. You know, you talk about destroying all the fossil fuel industry so you can make everything, you know, green energy. And that's not even why I went with my decision on this solar stuff. I went with the decision on the solar stuff because the power company wanted way too much. That's just the truth about that. The power company wanted way too much to run their old fucking, their old dinosaur power to the house. So, I mean, you run solar, you deal with any shortcomings that you might have using that, and you mix in fossil fuels. I don't think solar's a standalone thing. I'm not going to sit here and claim that, but when mixed with, fossil fuel options such as propane and solar, a wood stove, I mean, these different things. There's so many ways. We're in the future. There's so many ways for you to produce energy, and not, the solar thing's great too because you're not going to get a power bill in the mail. So you buy once, cry once. No power bill in the mail. You put in that initial investment. In the days where you're not producing as much, you use other sources. So I will let everybody know how that goes, maybe as a wrap up at the end of this year, or maybe this time next year, how it's been, and I'll be truthful of it. If it sucks, if it's good, if it's just in the middle, whatever, I'll let people know. But I'm gonna go for about 3 more minutes and 20 seconds and do some shout outs. I just figured I'd do a Covfefe this morning. What up, Double B, HRM, Tim Purcell, Kevin, Wrangler, Mike, Luis, what up, brother? I think that's everybody in there. Anybody else that didn't get a shout out, leave a comment right now so I could shout your ass out before I get out of here. But I figure I'd fire up a little Covfefe like I used to back in the day. Finishing it here. I'm fucking wired. I'm ready to get out here in the yard and start working. And then I got to get back on the job grind tomorrow. So that is the plan of action. I'll probably get a couple copyright strikes because I was playing some Jelly Roll in here and some Aaron Lewis. But today feels like a country day, boy. I've been wearing my shit kickers. I wear shit kickers during the fall and winter, like pretty much all the time. Yeah, Tim. Well, like I said, I'll do an honest review. Either probably going to be this time next year. From now, from this time till next year, I'll do an honest review and also include everything else that I'm doing. The what I'm looking at running the solar on, and I think this is a much more viable option. This is more realistic. Charging phones, maybe running a TV, watching a movie, that kind of stuff, and you can get away with that. But I think trying to power your whole home off of solar, I've seen a guy that's done it. Don't get me wrong. I know a guy in real life. I was just at his house the other day. He's got all that high-end, energy-efficient shit where no energy is wasted, from his washer and dryer to his water heater. Everything is got a heat pump in the dryer, and then that heat that comes from there is pumped into his water heater. He's got this whole system set up where there's like no waste. He says he does it well. On top of it, he's up on top of a mountain. He's got the whole mountain cleared out, 360 view around him. He's got solar, and he says he doesn't miss a beat running solar only. He's not hooked up to the grid at all on electric. He says that shit is money. It works. Now, come winter, this will be, I guess, his first winter. We'll see when, the sun is different on the horizon, lower on the horizon, if he's still getting that much juice consistently. But for him and his wife and this big-ass house that he's in, I think he will always be fine. He's almost like overkilled the project. So, I mean, to me, that makes sense. It can be done. But when you're talking about just a regular average Joe that don't got a ton of money to throw around, set up the solar, set up the propane, have a generator for emergency extra backup. But I mean, you could run so much off of propane, and yes, propane has gone up, but I see it's way higher in other parts of the country than it is here. It's like $2 and some change a gallon here. So it's about $400 a fill up on the tank I'm getting twice a year. So you're talking $800 a year if I use 2 tanks. They want me to use 2 fill ups a year. That's the deal. I'm renting the tank. So $800 a year on propane. Divide that up. Let's do that. $66 a month on propane, where it's sitting at right now. So it's not much. There's probably there's a fee on the tank, on renting the tank in there, which is super low too. She's talking about probably $70 a month. And you know, the solar, I'm not looking for the solar to do a big job like this guy's house I was describing. I'm looking at the solar to charge phones, run a coffee pot, watch a movie on movie night. You know, we're workers. Kids are in school, we're working. We come home, we got that small window of family time, and then on the weekends we work outside. You know, work on the property. So everything, you know, is time management and all that. But I guess if you were the average family sitting around in the house, working from home, running 4 PlayStations and 2 computers and doing this, that, and the other, burning up all this juice, I don't think solar would be good enough either, Tim. I don't think solar's good for just dedicated solar, unless you're like this guy I'm talking about who's got fucking, I don't know, he's running so much solar and it's just him and his wife in a big ass compound, you know. Then, you know, you overkill it like that, and he says he can't even tell the difference between being hooked into the grid and just being off solar. So, but when you got money to blow like that, I mean, if I had to guess how much he's got thrown into solar, I bet you he's got 50,000-60,000 thrown into solar. You know, so in his eyes, I'm guessing that he thinks, you know, that'll pay for itself over time. So I was just kind of picking his brain the other day, and then my cousin installs solar, so I was picking his brain too. And my cousin was talking about is piecing it together, especially when you're starting out small, piecing the solar together to where you have that greater solar production. But in the beginning, really just charging your phones. I mean, everybody's on their phones as far as you want to watch a movie, you want to get some information, whatever. All you need is juice for your phone. So that's my thinking behind it. Shout out to Mule if he does fire that thing up. Let me know. I'll try to be in there. Set up a date and time. I think you get a lot more people, and you get a lot of people. Yeah, Tim, I'm talking like I'm gonna be in like 3,000 to 4,000. I just want to be able to charge my phone and run a coffee pot, watch a movie on the weekend. That's all I want to be able to do. So I ain't trying to charge a Tesla or anything, but shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to Tim. Mule gets that thing fired up. Pick a time and a date. I'm sure the people will come and watch. I'm sure the people will come and be on the panel. But shout out to all the folks out there who've been following the channel, following all the same similar channels, and everybody out there striving to be a better person and striving to be dug in for when this shit show goes all the way sideways. Tony, out. Peace.